Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning, man.
Morning.
Last day of March here. Big day tomorrow, April Fool's.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like that was something the Prano family probably did some wild April Fool's stunts.
I mean, we did not like, not like when we were kids, like more like when you reach like teen and adulthood and whatever. But like I've told the story of like Craigslist posting and all that. Like pretty like our jokes were the kind of things like Prano family April Fools are the kind of things where like people are like, this isn't funny. This is too far. Like this isn't. This isn't like, oh, you got me. This is like, you fucked up my life for a day.
Do you know Craigslist misconnections still exists?
Unbelievable.
So I do a segment on the Andy Ruther show where I read them and break them. Dude, it's unbelievable that somebody is still like, hey, man, I saw you at the Target.
Saw you at the Kroger.
Yo, if you see this, I'm DTF. I mean, it's.
I had a, I mean, not a misconnection. I guess like a connection. So I take Bob, our Great Dane, to the fucking vet the other day, and we're walking in. There's this other dude who's walking his Great Dane like outside. I'm like, how often you just run into like two Great Danes in the street? So they're like getting along, they're hitting it off. Yeah. They're getting along, they're hitting it off. And then I started talking to the guy. I was like, what's her name? And he's like telling me, he's like, oh, it's Clover, whatever. And then I was like, look at them. They're all big and like big ass goofy dogs. And he looks at me, he goes, he's huge, by the way. He's probably like 6'7". He's like, we're all big. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, he's gay. And he's like, I was like, how tall are you, man? He's like, 6'7". I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, well. And he's like, oh yeah. He kept on like that. We're all, like, we're like a big gang. Like, look at us, all big. And I was like, all right, I gotta go to the vet. I gotta go to the vet. I was like, I'm gonna get out of here. So I go to the vet, take Bob in. They fucking check out Bob's anus because he's licking his nonstop ass licking. And then I come out and I'm like paying, and they're like, oh, also, Clover's owner left you his number. Like, I was like,
shut up.
Said that your dogs were really getting along. He lives in Ojai. If you guys ever want to get together, fucking hang out with the dogs.
Hold on a second. He left. That's a great story. He left.
He went back into the vet.
He went back into the vet and
wrote down
like,
his name number.
I want homeboy to give me a mustache ride.
Yeah. And Charlotte's like, I want a gay best friend. Can I was like, well,
do you I know we've talked about this in the show before. I've always felt like a sense of pride when a gay dude hits on me. Like, yeah, I got it. Like more pride than when a chick does. I know that sounds weird.
I don't know about more pride than a chick does, but like the same pride, like definitely not less. I'm definitely not.
Unless I had a really.
We talked about this when you were working with Lance, or like right after you were working with Lance. What was the other dude who you were working with? I forget his name.
Drew.
We talked about it, and I know like I'm not like I've always said like this. I'm not whatever, but like there is some subsection of gay men that I'm their thing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking thing. Like
yeah.
When I would hang out with my ex whose brothers were gay at like gay bars, there was a corner of the, like, I couldn't go to a gay bar without.
Well, have you seen the Freddie Mercury
losing their minds?
Have you seen the Freddie Mercury pic?
No.
Oh, dude. You've never seen this because it's literally you. I mean, I hate to say it. You've never seen this, bro. I'm a this thing is so funny. You've never seen this? It was recently going around again on Twitter because everybody had the same joke. This was the night it happened. You've never seen this?
No.
Bro, I'm gonna pull this up right now. This is like, I don't know when this is from. I'm assuming like the God damn it. Where is it? Why did I not save? This is from like the 80s or something. Oh yeah, look, literally a day ago. Now it's on Reddit too. Threads a day ago. It's so you and I talk about this. It's so funny how these old pictures they resurface.
Yeah.
And everybody, come on, like guys, why are you making this so hard for me to just? I gotta show this picture. Multiple threads are showing it. Okay, let me try this again. Anyway, old thing has resurfaced, and everybody's once you see the picture, you're gonna be like, okay, it's not fucking. Let me just screenshot it. God damn it! Why do you guys gotta make this so fucking difficult for me? Anyways, I swear.
That was just gonna be like Freddie Mercury at Live Aid. I'm like, yeah, I've seen this.
I can't believe you've never seen this.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. It's you. It's Joe Frano.
Where? All of them?
And that's the joke. Is like that's the kind of the joke. The joke everybody's making, right?
Oh, here we go. This is we're 9 seconds away from DJ Sizzle just putting my head on one of those guys.
Yeah, put it on every single one, DJ Sizzle. It's the joke that everybody's making is this not happen? But they're also saying, oh, so he was into dudes who look just like him.
Yeah.
Imagine what went on this night.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Centipede.
Oh my God. But yeah, this one's been making its rounds. That's funny. What I was gonna say was like, I had a really like I'd never been uncomfortable until this one time when I was living in Las Vegas. This is so funny. I'm swimming dude, how does this even happen? I'm swimming laps and then I'm done. And there's an older guy next to me and he just finished. And we just start shooting this shit. Like, what, dude, whatever. You're in the pool. And he's telling me we talked for maybe a few minutes. Just small talk. Oh, yeah, I just moved here. Oh, yeah. I'm a professor at UNLV. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, what do you teach? Oh, I'm actually an English teacher. Just small talk. And then probably not even 5 minutes. And then he's like, yeah, man, I got some dogs I really like. He's like, I'm a great cook. He goes, you want to come over for dinner? And I was like, whoa. Like he's probably in his 50s. I'm 23. And I'm like, and I remember being like embarrassed. I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I didn't just say like, hey man, I'm not gay.
I'm surprised young Andy wasn't like, yeah, what are you making? Taco Tuesday.
But then it got more weird because then I went into the shower. It's one of those just open showers, and then he's in there too. And I'm like, whoa, now he's gonna be looking at my dick.
Yeah.
now we're just naked. I'm showering next to some 50-year-old gay professor who basically just invited me here. And his pitch was that he has dogs that are friendly. Like that was your pitch. I think he knew I was straight too. He was just like, I'm gonna get him with the food and the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, this guy looks hungry. Once I get him there, I'll turn him. By the way, I had the most Andy Ruther I've ever felt in my life. This is true. Like, you and I, we have a lot in common, but we don't have that, but like personality wise, we're very different. But the other day I was like, I'm full Ruther. Like I've turned full Ruther. I go, I live 200 yards from a Taco Bell or whatever. Hop on the Taco Bell app. I don't go to Taco Bell that often, even though it's right here. I come home one night. Charlotte has like gotten Taco Bell on her way home from like wherever. And I was like, you went Taco Bell? You just went it like, by the way, also somebody else goes to Taco Bell and just like gets you some stuff. Now you get guilt-free Taco Bell.
Oh, 100%.
So I was like, you just like went to Taco Bell? You just like did the Taco Bell? I was like, now I want Taco Bell.
Yeah.
She's like, well, get Taco Bell. I was like, all right. And then I convinced myself, I was like, you don't need Taco Bell, bro. So I wake up in the morning and I still have this, like the bag still in the garbage. I was like, Taco Bell. I go, well, Taco Bell breakfast, you know. So, and I would say since I've lived here, you know, maybe I've been to Taco Bell a dozen times or whatever, maybe less than 10 times. 70% of those have been for breakfast. You know, you get the Taco Bell breakfast.
The app got you, didn't it?
The app. So I get on the app that
Yeah.
morning. I get on the app that morning and I was like, I'm just going to grab a couple of breakfast burritos and do the Taco Bell breakfast. Taco Bell, this specific Taco, I don't know if you know this, but apparently Taco Bell breakfast, optional based on location. Like not every Taco Bell has to participate in breakfast.
Yeah, probably the franchisee decides.
This franchise has decided we're done with breakfast.
Oh,
I was enraged.
yeah.
I'm like walking around the house. Like, what do you mean you guys are doing breakfast? You did breakfast and then you took it away from people. And then I was like, I've gone full Ruther. I'm like considering writing a corporate letter about Taco Bell breakfast.
Hop on that Yelp, man. Hop on that Google review. Let them know. That's a dagger to the heart.
Yeah.
You can't have it and then take it away.
Yeah. Because I didn't even know Taco Bell. I mean, like, I don't know when it started or I don't know if it started with the Pete Davidson commercials. I don't know if that's when like they introduced Taco Bell breakfast or that's just when they started promoting it.
It's like 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. I literally hadn't had Taco Bell breakfast in my life until like basically a year ago.
I remember getting it like when I was still drinking. I'm pretty sure. On that location on Lincoln Boulevard, like by where we used to live, which we made some stops at that Taco Bell. The app will get you though. The app's
on Venice Boulevard.
I'm sorry, Venice. Did I say Lincoln? Yeah.
Well, there was one on Lincoln. Remember, over toward the 10.
That's right. It was. That's cold blooded. They can't do that, man.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of the breakfast if you have it.
You can't take the Taco Bell breakfast away from me.
No. I mean,
that's gone. And then I'm like, what's going on here? Every time I put in breakfast, like nothing's coming up on the app. It's like, is the app broken? Whatever. And then I'm like Googling it. Did they end Taco Bell breakfast? And then there was like a story about how locations were dialing it back. And I was like,
so I don't have that app. Dude, I assume they have like rewards and stuff, right?
Yeah. I have notifications off, obviously. I don't need notifications about my free tacos.
Well, I know me now that I'm like into the food app game. I'm like their target audience.
Shout out to whichever dirtball told me Grubhub was free on Amazon.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Somebody like messaged me when I was complaining about like the fees on the show, saying like if you go via the Amazon app on Grubhub, you like get no delivery charge.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Gold Star just launched that app. And dude, you know what's funny for me? I literally work for them. There's a Gold Star right by me. I'm still like, oh, I'm gonna get them points. Like I could literally just get it for free basically whenever I want. And I was like, look at my points racking up.
It's like being a kid and a non-smoker and being like, I need those Camel points, dog. I need that. I need to get me a Joe Camel beanie.
But that's how we were in fourth grade.
Yeah.
We collected, I remember vividly in fourth grade, none of us were smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
We were collecting Camel points. Oh, dude, I don't even want to know the amount of money my family's given Chipotle in the last 6 months. Now that they opened one by me,
Chipotle is I'm just like not a Chipotle guy. People lose. There are people who are like devout Chipotle people. There are people who like Chipotle is their personality.
No, you know what it is for me? It's like not fast food. It's like pseudo fast food, way healthy. You know what I'm saying? You could go way healthy.
You can go and be like, I'm not. Yeah,
that's my point of like.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. But I get it. There are some people who are like, they're legit. Their personality is they're like Chipotle. Their Chipotle order. Like if you're on TikTok enough, people on Chipotle and like blah blah blah. I'm like, there's like inside jokes about Chipotle. And
well,
like,
it depends on where you live too. Like you live where I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's like
I'll say something.
You don't got good Mexican food.
We were on when we were on the bachelor party. I forget what we were doing. I don't know how it came up, but we were like maybe talking about like where we wanted to go for dinner one night, or did we just want to like order some shit to the house, whatever. And Mikey was like, somehow Mexican food came up. Mikey was like, my favorite. I love Mexican food. My favorite Mexican. And that was shocking to me coming from Mike. I know a lot of people in Mexican foods are Mexican's not in like my top 5. Mexican doesn't crack my top 5.
That's insane to me. That Mexican like
it like when I have a craving,
it's top 3 for me.
Mexicans never easy. Like I'll crave pizza, I'll crave ramen, I'll crave sushi, I'll crave Italian food, I'll crave, whatever. Like I'm never like, yo, we need to get some Mexican tonight.
My go-to are going to be Mexican and Italian. Those are my go-to.
Thai food. Mexican for me is like, and this is not a diss. Mexican for me is like a level above like McDonald's, In-N-Out, where I'll be like, I need something quick. Like I'm just gonna stop at this taco stand, because to me the best Mexican is street Mexican. Like the people are like, there's this great Mexican place where you can get the mole and it's $46. I go, if you're paying $40 for mole or whatever, you should legit kill yourself.
Well, the street food is great. It also is going to just tear up your insides too. I mean, obviously California, it's got so many great street tacos. But god damn, that'll come out the old anus. You're licking your own anus like Bob later. You'd be like, God, this thing is so raw.
You need to fucking put that ass cream on, like that anus cream that I have for Bob.
Yeah, put on that anus cream before I go meet his 6'7" homeboy.
No. Like, oh, you came for anus cream? You could have told me I had that in the car. You want to transition into sports quickly?
Yeah, from anus cream to sports. It's the only way to go.
Obviously, I'm susceptible to an internet beef, an internet like whatever. So I'm on TikTok the other day, just fucking around, and I don't know how much you're on TikTok these days, but like
I'm never. I gotta start going on. I've said this forever. I gotta start going
on. There's filters and there's like things where like it's like these pre-made games you can play or whatever. So I scroll by some guy who's doing a blind ranking of NFL quarterbacks.
Okay.
So the filter
is this on your TikTok?
Yeah, the filter gives you 10 of them, and then you blind rank them as you go. So I was like, well, I'm going to do this legitimately. I'm not going to watch the rest of this, guys. I don't know.
Do you want me to pull yours up?
Sure, if you want. But the gist of what happened, you'll have to go 2 back.
Okay.
But I didn't know who was on there. But the first guy I get is Drew Brees. And in my head, like I do the quick math, I'm like, I'm going to throw him like 7. So here you go. We can watch it if you want.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Okay.
So just make it easier.
Ranking NFL quarterbacks all time. This is likely going to piss off some football fans, but just keep in mind that I know more about football than you ever will.
Humble brag.
7. Roger Staubach. So I go Drew Brees 7. 9.
Okay.
Okay, you can keep going if you want.
Yeah, Drew Brees 7. That is tough. Here's the thing: you don't know what you're getting.
I don't know who's like. Yeah. Now if like there is a chance, I guess, that Drew Brees is the best quarterback that's on. Like, is Montana in here? Is Brady? I don't know. I didn't watch the thing. I don't know if there's like 50 quarterbacks that come up. But the reason in my head, I did like the very quick math, and I was just like, Breeze is like 7 because like right off the top of my head, I can, and we talked about it, 7 or 8 quarterbacks I think are better than Breeze. I was just like, Montana, Brady, Mahomes. Did you lose me? Okay.
No,
I was
sorry,
like
I'm
Montana, Brady, Mahomes, like whatever, far, like blah, 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 whoever it may be.
All right.
Peyton
So the
Manning.
first two are
Yeah, so you can
Staubach.
keep going if you want.
Yeah, Staubach and Drew Brees. So you have Brees 7, Staubach 9.
Yeah.
Rodgers. You will go. I don't know who's on this list. 5. Mahomes, greatest of all time. Brady. Yeah, we'll put him 3.
Brady 3. Okay, that's
well. You know me. I have a Peyton over Brady. That's where I'm. So I was like, is Peyton?
You have a Peyton over Brady? That's an insane take, Brandon.
Well, I've always said I think if Peyton was on the Belichick Patriots, they might want a 40 straight. He might still be playing.
Peyton's playoff meltdowns. Come on. Anyway, we'll continue.
Peyton Manning. Yeah, let's go ahead and fire him in there too. Elway. Ooh, it's probably better than Rodgers, but
I like this. Me talking.
Fuck. Would be nice to have 4 available right now. Steve Young 6. Terry Bradshaw 10.
Mike Vick. Like, why are we doing Mike Vick all time? Like, how did Mike Vick even get into a list?
Sorry.
Quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Mike Vick being thrown in there.
I'm blind ranking him. Okay, I'm blind ranking him, but like I probably have Rodgers ahead of Elway. Maybe but it's pretty close.
It's close.
I probably have Steve Young ahead of both, which in terms of he didn't get to play. He started on the Bucs, blah, 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 blah. He didn't get to play because he'd be behind Montana. When he does get to play, he puts up some of the best quarterback seasons of all time. He wins a Super Bowl. He goes to multiple NFC championship games. He wins 2 MVPs in 3 years. Short career, played in the USFL, blah, incredible, ran through all the things. How good would they have been?
You know whose careers are very similar?
Whose?
If you want to compare, and there can obviously be a discussion about these two. It was great in a short time. It was Kurt Warner and
Steve Young.
Steve Young.
Yeah. So anyway, no one has any issue with anything except Drew Brees at 7. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? So now you can watch my next video if you'd like. And people losing their minds.
Okay, so what you follow up?
Now I take somebody's quote. Now I quote somebody's comment and I reply to that.
Okay. All right. So let's see what you had to say about that. All right, here we are. Oh, sorry. Fucking A. Gotta get the volume on here.
Is complaining that I put Drew Brees 7th right out of the gate. I did that because I didn't know what quarterbacks were going to be on this list, but I did know that Pat Mahomes exists, Peyton Manning exists, Tom Brady exists, Joe Montana exists, Steve Young exists, John Elway exists, and Aaron Rodgers exists. So that puts him at 8 right there. Now, Drew Brees' career playoff record is 9-9, 500 on the dot. Do you know how many of those guys that I just listed in that group of 7 have an over 500 playoff record? Drum roll, all of them. But, I guess regular season stat padding in the Superdome is cool too.
Shots fired.
Did you know this, Andy? Did you know that Drew Brees has 100 more Superdome touchdowns thrown? Almost nearly 100. It's like 96 or something like that. Nearly 100 more touchdowns thrown at home than on the road in 3 more games.
No, that's an insane stat, though.
People are like, his home and road stats are identical. I was like, what are you talking about? He throws for 297 yards a game at home. He throws for 230 on the road. He has 100 more touchdowns in 3 more games. completion percentage. But like, if you're judging quarterbacks on completion percentage, just fucking kill yourself. Tua's career completion percentage is higher than Drew Brees's. Do you know the top 10? Here's a fun fact. Somebody goes, he has the highest completion percentage in a season. I looked this up. Do you know in the top 8 completion percentages in a season ever, Drew Brees is 4 of them. The other 4 are like Tua, Goff, Baker Mayfield, and some other fucking mediocre mid-ass clown. Like, literally, if you're completing 70% of your passes for a season, your coach doesn't let you throw the ball to anybody who's covered, or you're just throwing fucking, Alvin Kamara screens the whole goddamn day. Guess what, guys? Those are forward passes, but he's also throwing a screen. 2018, he set the season completion percentage. 2018, multiple major outlets wrote long form articles about the Saints screen game. Congratulations. Drew Brees can throw passes to uncovered running backs in the backfield.
Yeah, look, Brees, obviously, it was a great player. But he doesn't, like, when I just instantly think off the top of my head, he doesn't come to mind for all those reasons. And just,
I mean, there's people in my comments like, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Look at his stats.
People are idiots. People are just stupid.
More MVPs. Peyton's got more MVPs. Brady's got more MVPs. Rodgers got more MVPs. Mahomes got more MVPs. Elway, the same number of MVPs and been to 5 Super Bowls, not 1.
Does Elway not have an MVP?
Elway has 1 MVP.
Brees doesn't have an MVP.
What's that?
Brees
has 1 MVP. I think.
No, he doesn't.
No?
I'm almost positive. he doesn't have an MVP. Maybe a Super Bowl one, never won an MVP.
Wow. There you go. Literally every guy I listed above him in that group of 7 has an MVP, has multiple, been to more Super Bowls, has a winning playoff record. John Elway went to 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then you know what the other thing is? The team stat. People always love to go, this is what they do about Eli Manning too. Team stat. Drew Brees played for 20 years, guys. His team's changed. You know what was consistent over the Saints in 20 years? Drew Brees throwing for a lot of yards on screen passes and getting bounced in the first round of the fucking playoffs. If you take away Drew Brees' Bounty Gate Super Bowl run, he's 6-9 in playoffs.
Well, to be fair, we can't take that away.
Sure, but I'm just saying you have one deep playoff run that ended up in a Super Bowl,
and then the Rams game, the NFC Championship,
sure,
where
great,
and
then the Rams game,
but
also
he did nothing in the overtime there.
Yeah, but also your one Super Bowl that you won
is tainted.
It's tainted.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is not a top 5 quarterback.
Well, not even close. Brees was always fun to watch. Those teams were always fun to watch. Again, it's the dome. The offenses were electric. It's entertaining.
His team stat. His defenses aren't good. Let me tell you something about defenses. Let me tell you something about 6'6", 295-pound guys who have to get into a hand-to-hand combat every snap. Every 35 seconds, they have to do hand-to-hand combat with another sumo wrestler. Let me tell you something about those guys. They like to rest. They like it when you run the ball. They like it when you keep the fucking offense on the field. They don't like the 50 passes a game guy back out there every minute and a half. Oh, Drew Brees never had good defenses, and Drew Brees threw the ball 55 times a game. Some would say that those things are correlated,
and that's why Joe Burrow and this Bengals, they're the Saints and Drew Brees 2.0. The Bengals,
Joe Burrow is the only.
They throw the ball more than anybody.
I believe Joe Burrow is maybe the only. No, Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow might have might be ahead of. I think Joe Burrow has highest completion percentage like for a career through whatever passes.
He does.
Patrick Mahomes, the only person who averages more passes a game. But like, what are we talking? Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 Super Bowls. He's played 7 seasons. Drew Brees went to 1 Super Bowl ever. Patrick Mahomes had more MVPs the year he started playing the game of NFL football than Drew Brees has in his whole career.
Yeah.
You know, people come at Eli Manning about this stuff all the time, but guess what? Like I am here. I always defend Eli Manning as underrated because no one even talks about him in that regard. Meanwhile, I'm not saying Eli Manning's a better quarterback than Drew Brees, but Eli Manning is closer to Drew Brees than Drew Brees is to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I'd rather have Eli Manning in the playoffs.
Eli Manning is closer to Drew Brees than Drew Brees is to Tom Brady or Peyton Manning.
I'm being serious right now. I'd rather have Eli Manning in the playoffs. What does that say? Isn't that what matters? I'd rather have Eli as my quarterback than Drew Brees.
Oh, carving up the fucking Panthers
and the like a shitty Bucks team
and a shitty Falcons team for 12 games a season in your dome where you average 60 more passing yards a game than when you play on the road. Guess what, guys? Almost never do 2 NFC South teams make the playoffs and then get to face each other. And that's why Drew Brees is 9-9.
Wow. I didn't think we'd be having some Drew Brees discussion here. Yeah, people they're casuals.
Fantasy football. It's fantasy football.
They're casuals.
Yeah.
They're all casuals, dude. I can't. I have the gloves have. I am in a group chat here in Cincinnati, and the gloves have come off with the Bengals shit. I'm like, throw me all the bets. Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like I told my buddy, I said, he's buying into the PR pitch that it was the coaching, not the players. I said, okay, cool. Their former defensive coordinator went to the Colts. Side bet me. I bet you the Bengals still give up way more points per game than the Indianapolis Colts next year. Let's just bet straight up defense. Who gives up fewer points? Because I thought Lou Anarumo was a pretty good coach, to be honest. I said, let's bet me. You won't though, because you fucking know I'm right. It's the Drew Brees thing. It's the casual of like, oh, he put up all these yards. Cool, like you said, in a shit, dude. That's like a traditionally dumpster fire, not good division. It's just not. You've had some runs here where there have been some good teams.
It's what's weird is, and I guess this is what, is always frustrating when we talk about players across sports is like, the feeling used to be for me, like you don't really watch. I feel like now a lot of people do watch. They just don't. Their opinion isn't formed until they see the stat line at the end of the game and they see what like hot take fucking culture deems as having had happened. Like that's sadder than just being like, it's sadder than just being a box score watcher. Is watching it and not being able to process it for yourself and then be like, oh, well, he threw for 314 yards in the game, so I guess he played really well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you didn't watch that Russell Wilson threw for 46 yards in the first half and then was down and then threw for 200 yards in the fourth quarter when the team went into fucking prevent defense?
Well, and in the same way, if a guy is always clutch at the end, I'm like, okay, you might have a shit game. You might be a gunslinger, but like, at the end of the day, when you're leading game-winning drives, especially in the playoffs, especially on the road, Drew Brees just doesn't have that. And again, Drew Brees was fun. He was entertaining. I think we both agree. They played in the Dome. It was exciting. It's New Orleans, but I don't know. Like,
and people always
top five. No way.
Listen, people always talk about how good Dan Marino would be if he played today, and I think that that's absolutely true. He was accurate. Yeah. He got the ball out fast. That nowadays with fucking pick plays, nowadays with the rules being in favor of the offense, Dan Marino might be like a prototypical modern quarterback. That being said, just like Drew Brees, a lot of regular season stats, losing playoff record, 65 quarterback rating in the playoffs. It's like you can only play the guys that you played. And the truth is, your style of gunslinging in 1980s football didn't get it done against playoff quality teams when you face them in the postseason.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Hey, they're working on something here. Can I just pop up? They're sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand this off to you and just say you can riff on this for a few minutes.
Sure.
And I just, in this goes into the quarterback conversation. The Browns finally are owning it, at least finally. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I think it's something. The owner finally is admitting on Deshaun Watson. He said today, Jimmy Haslam, we took a big swing and missed with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. And we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. It was an entire organization decision, and it ends with me and D. I assume D, I don't know if that's his wife or if that's D and I's. Who freaking knows? But anyway, I'll hand this to you. I was going to be a couple minutes. My thing is, I want to bring back what I said. I said when he got injured, I don't think Deshaun Watson ever plays again. And to me, this is clear. He's admitting it was a bad move. He's still on the roster. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
They're going to cut him. I think Deshaun Watson never plays a game in the NFL again.
I think D maybe is Deshaun. I don't know. I didn't see the tweet. I don't know what this is from, but
no, it's from. Let me see. Let me just see if that's his wife. That's his wife.
Oh, okay.
American businesswoman. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, there's your. Why are we getting her way? And then this is like.
Well. Regardless,
you go do your thing. I'll riff on that, and I'll get into our comments a little bit, and
you can. Yeah, it'll be a couple minutes. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Well, Ruth is shutting off the camera now. I'm full wide here. Let me do this. Let's go into the comments first, because I like that this is I like that this Drew Brees thing has started some conversation. Well, first of all, Brian Roman, you don't need breakfast menu at Taco Bell. Just give me tacos at 7 a.m. You're a serial killer. I mean, I'm not saying don't have tacos at 7 a.m. I could full on go. If you gave me like delicious tacos at home, I would just like make a fried egg and put it on it. But going out and getting Taco Bell tacos at 7 a.m., I'm going to need to see your shed to make sure that there's not bodies in there. Breeze doesn't even have an MVP. I wish I knew that while I was arguing with all these fucking stands, Drew Brees stands on TikTok. I thought Breeze had one, but none. Like, that just shows you AP NFL columnists watch Drew Brees 5,000 yard seasons and never voted for him. Rodgers at 5 is a good choice. I thought so. Again, Rodgers is right around 5 for me. I didn't know who was on the list, so that seemed safe. Mike Vick is barely a top 10 black QB of all time. Probably true at this point. I don't know what Mike Vick was even involved in that. Warren Moon, number one in that. Warren Moon, number one black quarter. Mahomes is black. Let's be honest. Mahomes is at least mostly black. Also, Lamar's got to be up there, and I'm not even a Lamar guy. Blind ranking is tough. That felt pretty good. I thought so. I thought I nailed it. Saints literally lost to the 7-9 Seahawks in 2010. Beergate and Corolla show updates. Let's go. I'm good. So we'll get Corolla show updates. I'm going to do at some point a Joe Prano Substack live, ask me anything, take a mailbag, whatever. Because there's a lot to get into with that. So I'll save that for when I figure out what I can and can't say with do not, like, I have an NDA and a whole situation. So I'll figure out, but I'm going to do that at some point because there are updates and there are things that at some point I need to say. So I'll leave it at that. But Beergate, the Beergate thing, there is no update with Beergate. Things remain where they were, which is I am in good standing. I trade texts. He's coming to my wedding with, the unnamed person that brought me to the box that day. But I don't know if I'm sure I'll be able to get tickets again in my life and still a friend, still a close friend of mine, but I just don't know if I'll get like the box invite. I don't know that I'll set foot in the owner's box again. And listen, that is whatever it is, but this is a perfect transition into the Deshaun Watson thing. Andy saying, I don't know if this is from a statement, a tweet, an Instagram story, a notes post, or whatever that the Browns owner did this thing on, but him referencing his wife, I guess, D. This is a great, it was a wife of somebody important that really took issue with what happened during Beergate. Nobody of actual importance cared at all. It was the wife of somebody important that started all of the hoopla. And the fact that, Ruther's back. I went through the comments a little bit, and one of the comments was an update on Beergate. And I'm just recapping that there's no update. But I said this is a great transition into the conversation about Deshaun Watson, which you said he's referencing his wife. Said during Beergate, the person who had an issue was actually the wife of somebody important, not somebody important. And to me, you're muted still, by the way. And to me, that is a sign of an ownership situation that is out of control and in a bad place. When the wife of not somebody important, but when the wife of somebody important feels empowered to say something to me, somebody they don't know your fucking role.
Yeah.
And in the Brown situation, precisely the same. A great, how Brown's ownership is a fucking disaster and how they got themselves into this horrific Deshaun Watson situation is him referencing D. What? Me and D. Why are you talking to her about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is, people, you can say it's like sexist or whatever. No, this isn't about sexism. This is the same thing as the Jets owner taking the opinions of Brick, his teenage son. You're the president, the CEO, and the owner of a team. Your wife or teenage son's opinion on who should be the quarterback team, that should be like the last Hail Mary fucking opinion. First, how about my coaching staff, my scouts, the GM, the assistant GM, the head of player personnel? Where are all those lists of names? When you're talking about your son Brick's Madden ratings or D's opinion on who should be your quarterback, or your wife's opinion on who or who should not be in this box handing beers to people, your shit's out of control.
Well, look, it's not sexist. You know my opinion. It's the same way I say a lot of these wives and girlfriends and like the moms of players.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Like you're not playing. Like you're not. I don't care what Matt Stafford's wife has to say.
I also don't care what Matt Stafford's brother has to say.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I don't care what Matt Stafford. I don't care. Kirk Cousins' dad weighing on things. Kirk Cousins' dad, I shouldn't know your name. I shouldn't know you run a Costco super church in fucking wherever the fuck you're from, Michigan. Like, get fucked, dude. Why do I even know that you exist?
Yeah.
It should be when you ask me, is Kirk Cousins' dad alive or dead? It should be a coin flip for me. I go, how the fuck should I know, dude?
Yeah, you shouldn't know. But you're right.
Patrick Mahomes' brother.
Patrick
Like,
Mahomes' wife. Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same fucking thing.
I agree. It's a total same thing.
It's like, who the fuck are you? And again, I don't know. What was this? Was this a tweet thread? Was this a statement he put out? Was this an Instagram post? Was
This is a statement because they're all. I don't know if you know, all the owners are down in Florida,
right? But this is like a printed statement. Like this is one of those. It's like a screenshot of like a NFL letterhead posted to social.
No, this is. I think he was an interview with the Cleveland Browns beat reporter.
Even more to my point. You're name dropping your wife as like part of the decision-making crew that decided to bring Deshaun Watson in for 11 first-round draft picks and $495 million. Well, Sweet D said the gang should hire Deshaun Watson.
It's a great episode of Always Sunny. It's a great episode.
The gang trades for a rapist.
I totally watched that episode. 100%. Let's not forget he don't they own the Mavs now? Or not Mavs. The Bucks?
Oh. I don't know.
Didn't they buy into the Bucks?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they became co-owners of the teams with two other people. 2023. And the truth is the Bucks have kind of gone downhill since then.
Yeah.
The guy's making me look up his wife. Like, you're making me look up your wife on Wikipedia, bro. I mean, yeah, I will be curious how the Brown situation plays out. From just,
will you be?
Well, like, how are they going to be? The point is, I'm curious, as in like how bad are they going to be for how long?
Really bad forever because they're the Browns. Like,
you had Baker, man. You won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. If Deshaun Watson, if he didn't have 460 million lawsuits against him, I would have been like, okay, I don't hate this. Like, let's say it didn't work out, but like the fact that
it's a very similar. It's the Luka trade. It's the Justin Fields contract. It's whatever. It's like, who was bidding against you?
Well, we finally have, I think, some transparency on that Luka trade. Mark Cuban, because of Facebook. This is all pretty funny. Mark Cuban went in a former Mavs employee.
Well, a former Mavs employee went at him, right?
Well, he didn't go at him directly.
Yeah.
But he posted on his personal page, and Mark Cuban came at him. So he posted. What did this guy post? So basically, he posted complaining. First of all, Mark Cuban going to somebody's personal Facebook page is fucking hilarious. Right? So
Mark Cuban loves him some social media beef.
He does.
Which honestly, respect. Mark Cuban was in my TikTok comments arguing in favor of Drew Brees. So, like, listen, the guy stays after it.
So Gavin Malloy, the former event and venue manager of the Mavs, on Friday said Cuban should be run out of Dallas,
which is insane.
That's wild. That's a wild take.
First of all, we can get into and he kind of exposed the truth around this or whatever. We can get into we'll table this for 90 seconds on the like Mark Cuban wanting to stay in charge of basketball but didn't, blah 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 blah. So why would Mark Cuban, he's not even the owner anymore.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So Cuban hopped into Homeboy's personal page and he said this: how much of a bonus did you get when I sold? Now here's the context. That team sold, I think Mark Cuban, well, Mark Cuban himself pocketed about 3.5 billion. He bought the team in 2000 for $285. So he asked, how much did how much did you profit? And then, or how much bonus did you get? This Gavin dude responds to Cuban, not enough to make up for the Luka trade. I'd give your dirty money back for Luka to be here. How about you? So then Cuban just unloads, and now we finally know. We always said there was something there. Cuban says, you didn't say a word when it showed up in your bank account, did you? It sure looked good when we made it to the finals, didn't it? I did every damn thing I could for 23 years. This is all true. Kept prices lower than not only any NBA team, but lower than college teams too. I had $2 tickets for multiple years. When I sold, there were always 4,000 tickets under $29. I made money listen to this, Brandon. This is wild. Only 2 out of the 23 years I was majority owner. Lost hundreds of millions of dollars, and you kept on collecting your salary. So my dirty dollars didn't get a peep out of you those 23 years, or when you got your check every 2 weeks, or that bonus. And then here's the thing that reveals everything that happened. Go back to what I said when I sold the team. I didn't want my kids and family to have to deal with people like you, which is true as well. Hold on, where's the? He's saying I paid your salary. No, where's the piece about? Oh, here it is. Here's what I wanted to get to. This is on a different thread. Sorry, I got multiple threads I'm reading. I fully expected to run basketball, is what Mark Cuban said. The NBA wouldn't let me put that in the contract. They took it out. There it is. And then he thought the new ownership group, the Adelsons, would stick to their word. They probably had just a handshake because they didn't know the first thing about running a team. Somebody obviously changed their mind.
Listen, I've always been a Mark Cuban fan. I've always been a Mark Cuban stan almost. I've been a Mark Cuban defender. I still like Mark Cuban. This would have never happened to Mr. Wonderful. No way Mr. Wonderful doesn't have that shit in writing. He's the king of the fucking, I'm getting 15 cents off of everything for the rest of your fucking product's eternity. I'm getting 15 cents off of every scrubby buddy sold for the rest of my life. This would have never, I'm just going to say it. This never would have happened to Mr. Wonderful. No way he fucking wants that in the contract and doesn't get in there. I'm disappointed in Mark. What kind of, the NBA made you take it out? Well, then you don't have to sell the team. Like, if you had a deal, but.
And also, not that, and we have this now. We also had, which I played, and that's why you and I are always like, what's going on here? We had literally all the things he said about Luka while he owned the team, about choosing Luka over his wife, all like the funny comments, but like him being serious.
Yeah.
So we already had that.
Yeah, it's just it's a super weird. It's a super weird post if you're Gavin Malloy or whatever to, like, I'm not saying Mark Cuban's not, like, he's 5% responsible or maybe less than that because you sold the team to people who whatever, and you didn't work out your contract so that you stayed in charge of basketball and whatever. But also he sold the team. Like, he sold the team to people and then they made a terrible decision. How is that his fault?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look.
Like, I'm not mad at Taco Bell as a corporation for there not being breakfast down the street. But I am mad at whoever owns this place.
Yeah. And it's clear he wasn't making, again, it just, look at any video. There's enough video evidence alone of Cuban never would have traded Luka. Ever. No way. And we still don't even know the motive. We really don't. Was there an alternative motive
It seems like
about moving the team? Like, who even knows?
I've never bought into those theories for a variety of reasons, like I've talked about, including Dallas being fucking 20 times bigger than Las Vegas, and the third biggest market in America, or whatever the fuck it is. And I think it's as simple as the new Mavs GM had a fucking Anthony Davis boner, and
Used to work with him.
Yeah, and simultaneously an issue with Luka's attitude, work ethic, training, etc., etc. Now, again, we can all, and rightfully so, dunk on that guy where it's like, you didn't even fucking, if that's where you're at, get 2 other teams involved, drive up the price, still get Anthony Davis, but get more fucking picks for him. We can also dunk on him. It's like, all right, trading Luka 3 years from now when his value is like slightly lower and whatever, but he's proven to you, because you're coming off the finals. He took you to the finals. So yeah, I just think you have a terrible GM.
Yeah, he's awful. Absolutely awful. So we have a 2-horse MVP race with SGA and Jokic. I've seen a lot of discussion about this. Like, who do we lean towards? And then I saw an insane stat actually last night from Jokic. Listen to this stat. No player in NBA history ever has been top 10 in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. So top 10 in all 3 of those main categories. Right now, Jokic is second in assists, third in points, third in rebounds, second in steals. Oh, and steals per game. So all 4 of those categories.
It's the annual it's the annual MVP discussion where we have to remind everybody that the MVP award never goes to the most valuable player. There is no doubt about it.
It's Jokic. Like, if we want to,
is the most valuable player in basketball. If fucking the MVP award went to the most valuable player, LeBron would have 12. If it went to the most valuable player, fuck, Scottie Pippen might have won it over Michael Jordan a year. We've done this how many fucking times? It just doesn't go to the most valuable player. It goes to the best player on the best team with the best record, especially if they're suddenly good after not being good, where it seems like that guy elevated them. Like, SGA scores a lot of points on the best team in the league. He's going to win MVP. I guess by NBA standards, he should win MVP. But most valuable player, it's Jokic, obviously.
dude, it's not even close. I mean, what's sad is SGA is the huge odds-on favorite. Right. It's right now.
Listen, I don't have an MVP vote. I likely never will have an MVP vote. If I had an MVP vote, it takes now I'm going like, when I know that this is what the league award is about at this point, like, I would be like, I don't know who I should vote for, because it's like, the award isn't for the league's most valuable player. So if I vote for that, am I voting? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who I would vote for. Luckily, I don't have a vote, but like, SGA is going to win. There's not really like getting upset about it. is dumb because now there's, if you're upset that SGA wins, there's 25 other seasons you should be upset about. And the most valuable player in the game is clearly Jokic. So I don't know what to tell you.
But then it should be him is the point. Like we shouldn't keep doing this. We do it every year. But my thing is like, don't make this a participation trophy, writers. Don't make this a participation trophy. This is what you're doing. Oh, well, we're sick. Well, who cares? Who's the best player? Who's the best player?
It's weird that the NBA has like,
They did it. They going back to Jordan. Jordan should have way more MVPs. They also all the greats should have way more MVPs. Plain and simple.
But like, you know, in college football, there's like the Heisman, but then there's like the most outstanding player, and then basketball, there's the most outstanding player. Then in the NFL, there's offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year and the NFL, MVP.
I feel like the NFL has no problem, dude. If you earned it, there's going to be debate. But like this year, there's obviously debate. But I think most people agree, like, oh, I have no problem with either Lamar Jackson or people like me. I was like, oh, I have no problem with Lamar Jackson gets it or Josh.
But the NFL is way more of a reasonable thing because like the quarterbacks almost always win. It's a quarterback award. It's like, yeah, the quarterback is the most valuable player on the field.
Sure. I mean, again, if nobody's ever been top 10 in those 4 categories ever, and he's top 3, what are we even doing here? Because the Thunder have the best record? Is that what this is all about?
It's the Thunder having the best record and having a great player who I think is he leading the league in scoring?
Oh, let me see.
Yeah. So he's leading the league in
scoring. He's 77th in rebound. He's 14th in assists. It's just like, again, it's not all about stats, but the value that Jokic brings. Come on. Give it to the most valuable guy. This idea that Jokic has just won it too many times recently, who cares? I mean, if you look back on it, if you really look back on it, and I was actually doing this the other day, if you look back on it, on the NBA MVP history, right? It's insane to see when LeBron stopped winning MVPs. Like, it's insane. LeBron hasn't won an MVP since 2013. That's insane.
Yeah.
Right? He won one in 2009, 2010, 2012, and 2013. That's insane to me that LeBron has not won an MVP since 2013. Insane.
Of course it is.
I mean, even Jordan, who I think should have gotten more, like Jordan had a little gap. You know, he got one in 91, 92, and he doesn't get one until 96. Now he fake retired, but then he gets one in 96 and then in 98. It's just, I don't know. It's ludicrous to me how they vote. Like, and I think it's the worst sport for voting on MVP, in my opinion.
Sure.
It's just the worst. That stat is just insane. Can we talk about these Yankees torpedo bats?
Mm-hmm.
Prano, what is this?
It's being blown out of proportion for starters.
Can I pull up a video?
Absolutely.
Give a visual here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you see the shape of Chisholm's bat.
Dude, it's got a big barrel on it.
Well, it's actually a little bit lower than the barrel. The Yankee front office, the analytics department, did a study on Anthony Volpe. And every single ball, it seemed like he hit on the label. He didn't hit any on the barrel. So they had bats made up where they moved a lot of the wood into the label, so the harder part of the bat is going to actually strike the ball.
That'd be a weird way to hit. Going up there expecting to get jammed and putting the meat of the bat towards the label.
It allow you to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, your weight, all right. You take back.
So
Go back to the pause this at the first set. Yeah. Pause right there. So here's what's important about this conversation that a lot of people are not understanding. There is a maximum diameter for a baseball bat that you are allowed to have. 2.61 inches is the fattest a bat could be at any point.
And it can't exceed 42 inches in length.
Correct.
Like my dick.
And then the other thing about length is only up to like 13 inches or something like that. Can you put any sort of sticky substance and whatever? But there is not a rule that says the whole bat can't be 2.61 inches long. 2.61. You could go up there with a straight up fucking club. What is different about this bat that people aren't understanding is the barrel isn't thicker. It's just tapered down at the end. It looks like the barrel's thicker because it gets thinner toward the top of the bat. Now, obviously, the MIT scientist who they had working on this was like, all right, if we're going to make the bat thicker, closer to the label, as opposed in the barrel, for the weight distribution and swing purposes and whatever, we have to thin it out toward the top. You don't need to do that. Like if you look at like a college baseball bat, because they're in their metal, they are just made, it just goes handle to barrel, barrel to the end. So people are freaking out that it looks like it's bulging in the middle. It's not. It's just tapered down toward the top. Now, again, so far so good for the Yankees. They're hitting a lot of fucking home runs. Jazz Chisholm, who is shown here, who's one of the guys using this bat, I think hit 2 yesterday. But the idea that, like the announcers were saying, Anthony Volpe can't barrel a baseball, so they're adjusting the bat for him. I don't know that like great hitters, like I don't think Aaron Judge uses one. Like,
he doesn't. Aaron Judge, he doesn't. I know that for a fact.
Because Aaron Judge is barreling baseballs fucking regularly.
Yeah.
So like I'm all for playing within the rules of the game and being smart about it. People are freaking out because the Yankees hit 9 home runs. Like I think that this is a story because the Yankees hit 9 home runs.
Gotcha.
I don't think the bats are why. I don't think the bats are why the Yankees hit 9 home runs. I think we're talking about the bats because the Yankees hit 9 home runs. Listen, obviously, an MIT scientist knows better than I do, and I get it. But like, I just don't think that there's anything here to be upset about.
You're saying they're just playing within the framework of the rules.
Yeah, and they're not thicker. They're not a bigger barrel. They're a smaller cap. They're a smaller end to the bat. That's just like why it looks that way.
I mean, look, it is wild though that they just, what do they put up 20 runs?
Yeah.
That first game against the Brewers when they were using these bats.
Yeah. But other guys and other teams are using it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the Yankees using it.
Yeah, it's not
Aaron
just
Judge who's hitting home runs, who's going to fucking, whatever, isn't using it. Like, I mean, listen, what the MIT scientists should do next is adjust the shape of Aaron Judge's glove so he doesn't have to make an error that costs the Yankees their whole goddamn season.
Shots fired. It just looks funny. I know as from a visual, you're like,
Aaron Breeze, Drew Judge, playoff choker.
Aaron Breeze.
Oh, One guy puts up all the yards in the dome. This other guy puts up all these home runs in the Little League field. Come playoff time, they face playoff quality teams. Do we have to check Aaron Judge for a giant mole on the side of his fucking head?
You know, you always wonder if Breeze didn't go to the Saints, though. I mean, it's true.
Sure.
The dome. Had he gone to Miami? Because everybody always wants to talk about, oh, had Nick Saban picked him up, had he gone to Miami? Well, we don't know if that would have been bad, actually. We don't know. So the torpedo bats are not going to go anywhere.
I mean, again, this is the idea of like, I'm a fucking Yankee hater, by the way. Everybody knows I hate the fucking Yankees. But like, again, like making adjustments within the framework of the rules to give yourself a competitive advantage, like I'm fine with. Like, and also, I think everybody can do this, and it's not necessarily bad for you. Like the tush push to me is like not enjoyable to watch, not fun. Seems like it's bending the rules in a negative way. Make like no one likes it. And like except I'm sure Eagles fans, but you know, they're probably, you know, ass to mouth with their buddy and a Yingling when they're fucking watching. Like, oh, I love this. Fucking now shoot your Wawa fucking milk into my face.
I got a sexual analogy for the bat. Okay. Is it a cock ring?
Honestly, it's more of a condom. It's like the, you know, you got to leave a little room in the tip.
Yeah.
And you put it on, you know, so, you know, blow through that. That's the tapering down at the end.
Hey, I got 2 kids. We wear condoms over here at the Ruther
Yeah,
household.
I know.
But my point was like, you know, if you ever put on a cock ring, like it's like, yeah, some people don't like it. Like, it's doesn't feel weird, but the girl might like it, you know. I think it's our first ever cock ring mention in the Dirty Sports. Right? We never mentioned that.
Well, the first time I ever learned about a cock ring was from like a Shannon Tweed, like Skinamax fucking movie. This is gonna be a long end. It's gonna be a jet sweep to a fucking movie recommendation. But that's the first, like, I'm like 12 and I'm watching like late night Showtime. And I'm like, what is this about? Anyway, all brings me to my point. When we were at my bachelor party, Mikey made us watch Hot Dog like 5 times. If you've never seen Hot Dog, it's an 80s skiing movie with Shannon Tweed in it. And I got to say, again, it's really a rape movie with some ski scenes, but worth checking out if you've never seen Hot Dog.
Name of it is Hot Dog.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah, she was the queen of the B movies.
Oh yeah.
Right? Is it B movies?
Yeah.
She's 68, bro.
I didn't know she's been with Gene Simmons for like 40 years.
Oh yeah, you know that?
I mean, I knew they were together for a long time, but like she's been with him since the 80s.
Oh yeah, man. They actually finally got married. Since 83.
Yeah.
I didn't know they actually got married in 2011.
Yeah.
Like legally. How can we make
Gene Simmons' Jewishness finally caught up with him in 2011. He's like, "Oh, we need to do this for the money. Financially, this is a reckless decision, not for us to have been married this whole time." Which is, by the way, how Gene Simmons talks. If you haven't heard him,
yeah, you can't make those jokes anymore, man. You can't make Jewish jokes. They could be called anti-Semitic now.
Oh, okay.
Shot is that?
I don't think that's true. I think 55% of Americans will be like, no, he's not, because I know that because a guy hailed Hitler recently, and everybody's like, he's not anti-Semitic.
There's a lot of discourse going on with this stuff now, with these terms. I'm just gonna dance around it, throw that out there. I find it very interesting. What was I gonna say about Gene Simmons? How come this though? How come Kiss doesn't get made fun of for the face paint, but then the Insane Clown Posse does? Well, I'm just saying, why?
I think a lot of people make fun of Kiss for the face paint. I think Kiss. I think back in the day, I don't want to say they were the Insane Clown Posse, who are like weird rapping whatevers that like wouldn't exist if it weren't for like the Howard Stern show. But I think Kiss was treated similarly. They're like, look at these fucking guys.
They were so mainstream with the kids' lunch boxes, and like Insane Clown Posse was still fringe.
Yeah.
Kiss was so main. Like I just noticed from like my brothers talking about her, the stuff they had. Kiss was just so mainstream. You imagine you imagine walking in, your dad's putting that shit on in the bathroom. What are you going doing, Dad? You going to work like that?
Yeah, no. Paint on my whiskers. Because I'm the cat. Your whiskers, they're looking a little crooked. Who put it on you, son?
Oh my God.
Don't forget, I get an extra 15% from all the lunch boxes because it's my tongue.
Let's not forget, I went as a juggalo to see Insane Clown Posse in full face paint, which my mom had to put on me. Because again, I don't know how to put on face paint. What a weird concert, bro. Although didn't we learn there was like a dirtball juggalo cross?
Yeah, including fucking number one first ever Hall of Famer Jesse Stanga.
Oh, I forgot about that. So my brother Elliot went with me. He actually texted me. I think they're coming somewhere close. He's like fascinated by it. You want to go? I'm not going again. What are you talking about? I'm not like I'll admit it. You know me. I was like, we
need an Insane Clown Posse opening for Kiss show where people do like when people like when Mama Kelsey wears like a half Jason, half Travis jersey, where you have like the cat on one side and the clown on the other of your face.
That's hilarious. I like that. I think they're coming by here. Gathering of the Juggalos. I forgot about that one. Oh, they're in. Of course they are. They do stuff with wrestling now.
Yeah, of course they do. I mean, I don't. You're asking me. I have any idea.
Bro, these guys got to update their website. What is this? All right, we do have a hotline to all the dirtballs who are juggalos. 310-359-8365. Give it a shout. Give it a shout. Tell me why Drew Brees is top 5, and we'll tell you why he's not.
Yeah. Follow me at Joe Prano on all social media. Give the Jay Moore podcast a listen tomorrow. More stories. We have the Scalar brothers on. Big sports fans there. Some dirtballs might be disappointed, but at some point they did dueling Stephen A. Smiths. But there was just like too many people in the room for me to break out my Stephen A., which like I gotta say, I think it's better than both Sklar brothers, Stephen A. Smith's, not gonna lie. But good sports guys. It's fun to talk. Fun to talk sports with them. I'll throw out a controversial sports topic along the lines of the Drew Brees top 5 thing. Jay said, is there any Major League Baseball player that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that isn't more than Don Mattingly? And I shot back with Don Mattingly. Well, I mean, I think obviously not including the guys who are like out for a reason, out for some sort of political or whatever reason. And I came back with, he's not even the top New York first baseman that belongs in the Hall of Fame. I was like, Keith Hernandez belongs in the Hall of Fame more than Don Mattingly. Same amount of MVPs, batting titles, championships, and the greatest fielding first baseman of all time, which is why if you go on any sort of baseball reference page, his WAR dominates Don Mattingly's because he was such an elite defensive player. So I'm going not even Don Mattingly's not even the biggest snub for mustachioed New York first baseman.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's interesting.
It's like what's his name? I think it's Joe Garagiola or whatever. Who's a former Major League Baseball player, grew up on the same street as Yogi Berra. And it's like, imagine being a Major League Baseball player and not even being the best baseball player to ever grow up on your street. Don Mattingly is not even the biggest snub for lefty mustachioed first baseman that played in New York in the 80s.
I don't have much to say about that.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. That conversation and more on more stories with the Sklar brothers dropping tomorrow.
From St. Louis, right?
From St. Louis.
Yeah.
Two St. Louis boys. They tried to get Jose Akendo in the Hall of Fame. That was their big push. They really love them some Jose Akendo.
Jose Akendo.
And I said to them while I was there, I was like, Jose Akendo, fun fact, from the Mets, played the majority of his career in St. Louis, but in 83-84 Met, moved to St. Louis where he played the rest of his career. The original super utility man. They called him the secret weapon.
Man, your brain's coming out with the Jose Akendo facts.
Yeah.
You guys can follow us at The Dirty Sports. We'll be back on probably Friday. You guys have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.